Hey YouTube, hey, a shout out to my subscribers. Shout out to anyone who is not subscribed to my channel. I am back after a 3-year hiatus, so I'm really hoping that you will watch and enjoy my videos. Really hope that you'll comment, you'll like, you'll subscribe, you'll share. It's been a very, very long 3-year journey. I am doing weight loss videos, talking about my weight loss journey. I'm doing my motivational videos because I have been through hell and back. And for 3 years, I've been on a hiatus. So I want to talk about what basically happened 3 years ago. I shared on my weight loss video. I gave you kind of like a background to explain, like, hey, okay, so the reason why I gained this weight is because I got very depressed. I spent um, 9 months of my life, 9 months of my life in jail and prison, and bipolar landed me in jail. And I want to explain what happened. This is the actual video to explain what happened. So 2015, we'll rewind back to 2015. 2015 is when I got my first actual bipolar diagnosis. I went through a very major traumatic experience in my life that caused me to get very, very upset, very depressed. And the doctor prescribed Wellbutrin, thinking, okay, well, you're just depressed. You're just in a state of depression. So let's give you this Wellbutrin. Well, if anybody who's watching, if you know about medication, you know anything about being bipolar, if you have manic episodes and you're on Wellbutrin, it can throw you into a state of mania. So the Wellbutrin that the doctor prescribed me threw me into a manic episode. I mean, it was just like really manic. And when you're in mania, it is like the weirdest thing because you don't know what you're doing. You really don't know what you're saying. You don't sleep very much. So you're wired, hell, you could paint a whole house, when you're going through a state of mania, and I laugh about it because I have to, because it's what gets me, out of that, oh my God, like that stigma that everybody has about mental illness. And, you have to kind of laugh about it. I mean it in a good way. I don't mean like, let me laugh about it. I mean, let me just laugh about all the things that I've been through, because it's been one hell of a ride. It's been a roller coaster ride. So it threw me into that state of mania, which, when you're in that state, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're saying really half the time. A lot of times, you'll go out and you'll spend money and it's like, oh, and then when you get finished, you're like, whoa, what did I just do? Whoa, what did I just do? So 2015 is when it all started. When I got diagnosed, I ended up being diagnosed with bipolar 1, went into the hospital. I spent a couple of days there, and then things were fine. Things were okay, for a few years. I still struggled with things. Jobs have always been, a very difficult thing. If you're bipolar, it's just very difficult to manage things sometimes, and medication definitely helps. So it took me a while to really kind of get a cocktail, if you will, taking the cocktail that would allow me to be, in a stable state of mind. So I was okay for 4 years. I was doing great. Everything was fine, job wise. Yes, I tended to have some issues with the jobs and things like that, but that came with the territory, with the bipolar territory. So I was doing okay, I had a really great job. 2019 comes and I went into a state of mania again because the doctor had prescribed yet again the Wellbutrin. But I did not know that the Wellbutrin is what caused these manic episodes. Obviously, it was the Wellbutrin because in 2015, I had the Wellbutrin and it caused a manic episode. 2019, it caused an episode. So in 2019, I'm taking when you're not bipolar or manic, it is a very bad thing to not get enough sleep. It is a terrible thing. It can cause someone who does not have a mental illness to start seeing and hearing things like hallucination. It's not good, but especially when you are bipolar, it is horrible. So I didn't sleep for a week. I didn't sleep. So I go into my job. I quit my job. I'm like, hey, I quit. I'm done. I don't, I'm done. And they're like, what? What? Huh? What? What? You're done. You quit. What? I don't know. I was manic. I was manic. I quit and walked out the door. Got in my car. Went to my apartment. Told myself, I'm just going to go somewhere. I'm going to drive. I'm just going to go drive wherever. I have no idea where I'm going. Just going to get in the car and I'm just going to go drive. So I went to the gas station, got some coffee. I used to be a big coffee freak. I don't do a whole lot of drinking of the coffee these days. I will drink maybe, one cup a day, if that. But I used to drink it like all the time, day, morning, night, evening, just whenever. So I got my coffee and I got in my car and I was like, okay, we are just going to drive, aimlessly just drive wherever. And that's what happens when you are in a state of mania. A lot of things happen when you're in a state of mania. This is just a little side note. A lot of times you think you are a religious figure. A lot of times I would say I was Jesus. I was Mary. I think mainly when I was in my manic episodes, those were the two biblical characters that I thought I was. And it's, I have to laugh about it because it's like, whoa, okay, this is definitely strange. This is some strange stuff. Um, so that does happen, and it is something that happens frequently to a lot of people. I thought it was just me. One day I put on some flip-flops and I'm like, I got my Jesus sandals on, let's roll. And I thought it was just me. I thought I was the only one who thought that I was Jesus and I was God. you know so I had to Google it, and I Googled, and there were more and more people who were like, saying, oh yeah, 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 I've had that experience. you know so I'm just, driving around. I'm like, okay, I'm in my car doing my thing, not knowing really where the hell I was going. And I see lights behind me, and I'm like, uh-oh, uh-oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? So I freak out. Immediately I think they're after me. They were not after me, but I freaked out, being in that state of mania. I freaked out. So what did I do? I put the pedal to the metal and I went about 120 miles an hour. Just no joke. I was weaving in and out of traffic, like going all over the place. According to the police report, I had had maybe 3 or 4 near head on collisions. And I'm like, how in the world did I ever survive this? I mean, it's insane. Like, it's really insane. So 90 miles. I'm like, yeah, I guess it was kind of like the OJ Simpson thing. You again, I have to laugh about it. I have to laugh about it because it happened. It is what it is, and it happened. So for 90 miles, that is what was happening. That's what was taking place. So I was, driving, going like 100 and something miles an hour, weaving in and out of traffic until I come to a car that is at a dead stop. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So my instincts were immediately like, oh shit, I got to put my push down on the brakes, as my internet's acting a little wonky tonight. But I pushed down on the brakes, as hard as I could. And I slowed down, to probably about 75 miles an hour. That was like, the slowest that I could get was 75. And I swerved the wheel because I did not want to hit the back of this car, because I knew if I had hit the back of this car, there would have been a million car pileup. I would have hurt the person, would have killed the person in front of me, would have killed myself, many, 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 many other people behind me as well. So I swerve the wheel and I go off the road. I literally go straight off a ravine. It was like a ravine. It was like this hill. So the car goes down, like going at like 75 miles an hour, and I hit the water head on. The car just smashes into the water, because there was a bridge that was going over the water, and the bridge had been closed, and it was a major collision in the water. So the car starts to sink, and as the car is sinking, the cops, they try to pull me out of the water. There are four of them. My internet connection is still acting very weird. There are four of them. They were trying to pull me out. I'm, fighting them off, and they were like, "Oh my God, you had the strength of like 10 men." And I'm like, "What?" I'm not very strong. I'm like 5'1", 5'2" at the most. Back then I was like a lot smaller. I was about 25, pounds smaller than I am right now. So I was a lot smaller, and I'm thinking to myself, how was I fighting you guys off? So it was that fight or flight mode. You get that adrenaline rush, and you're very scared, and you're afraid, and you don't know what's going on. So I'm over there like fighting, and not knowing what the heck is going on, and they're in the meantime thinking, what the heck is going on? Why is she running from us? What did she do? What did she do? I didn't do anything. I was just manic. So of course, the drill. You know what happens. There are like four or five standing all around me. I'm looking like, hi, I'm scared to death, and they had guns pointed at me, and I'm like freaking out at this point. I'm like, what is going on? What did I do? You know, and they handcuff me, and I fall to the ground. And it hurt like a son of a bitch. It hurt like hell. I had the handcuffs like back behind me, and I fall back, and I, land on my arms and my wrists, and for like months I still had like, scarring from it. Um, so I fall back, I look up at the sky, I see the bright light, I see the sun, and I'm thinking, am I dying? Am I dying? Close my eyes, fall back, and boom, that's it. I'm out. Like, I still hear things around me, but I can't open my eyes. I can't really move. I can't do shit. And I'm thinking, what is going on here? So the ambulance comes, they take me, they put me in an ambulance, and I go to the hospital. And I was probably a good hour away from home. I didn't know this at the time. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what in the shit was going on. So they take me to the hospital. Obviously, they're like, whoa, okay, this is like, what the heck, what the heck, what the heck. So I spent a good 30 days in the hospital, because obviously that's not a normal thing. They're like, we got to evaluate you. So I spent the 30 days there. And when I got out, I'm thinking, okay, everything's fine. It's been forgotten. None of this is not, yeah, it's all, it happened, because I thought to myself, well, I didn't do it on purpose. It's not my fault. I did not do any of this on purpose. Well, 3 months go by, September 2019, I start doing my YouTube videos. So I was doing my YouTube videos for a little bit. And I was like, okay, this is great. Doing some weight loss videos, doing some angel cards, some motivational videos. And I one night was in the car, and I was driving, and there was a deer that ran across the road, and so there was a car that was in front of me, and they were paying attention to the deer that was running across the road, and I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know that they had stopped. So I had another little fender bender. I'm like, great, I totaled my car, and then 3 months later I have another little fender bender. I'm like, oh, this is really shitty. So needless to say, I have not been driving for 3 years. So my life has been chaotic, and I'm trying to get my life back together. But I had a fender bender, and I hit the car, and you know what happens? Okay, yeah. You got to call the cops, and you have to file a police report. So the lady is looking at me, and she's like, do you know you have a warrant for your arrest? And I was like, I have a what? What? And I was like freaking out. I was like scared to death. I'm like, oh my God, are you what? So I couldn't go home that night. They handcuffed me, they take me to jail. And that was the very beginning of my bipolar madness manic episode. I told myself, well, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to do a book. I started writing a book, but I think I'm going to start doing my vlogs. This is part of healing. I'm going to do my YouTube vlogs to explain to people like, hey, look, this shit landed me in jail. This shit was serious. So, so I ended up going to jail, and it was December. I remember it was December 14th, 2019. Worst freaking day of my life. I was there. Never in a million years would I have ever. At the time, I was 43, 43, 40. I mean, nothing clear, crystal clear record. I would never do anything like that. But my bipolar mania caused this. It caused this horrible, horrible episode to happen, which was like this major tornado that came through and disrupted my life completely. My life has been disrupted. Pick the pieces up, put the pieces back together. The bipolar landed me in jail, and it is a serious, serious thing. So, for anybody out there that suffer from it, how serious it can be. I'm just here to tell you, just don't take it lightly. Just, take it very seriously because it is a very serious thing. So it landed me in jail, and I spent the first 7 months. I was there from December to prison. I went to jail, and I I have a record because of it now, a felony, and it ruins your life. And it's not like we set out to commit a crime or to do bad or to do any sort of harm. So I really honestly think that it was very unfair and unjust. I do honestly think it was. It's not a situation where you can say, hey, I did it, but I didn't do it. It's like I did, but I didn't. So it's kind of like a catch 22. It was a very difficult thing. It was a very difficult thing for me. But I want to say I had some very interesting experiences in jail. They were very interesting. The people honestly were very nice. And I was okay. I was okay being there. I really was okay because I was surrounded by people who, could relate, had been through some similar situations, and it really wasn't that bad of a situation. But it got bad when I came home and I had to face reality. I was in the midst of things for for 7, 8, 9 months. It was like it was horrible, but it was bearable because I was around people that I could talk to that understood what was going on, and they were like, okay, and it was at times that jail was quite humorous. I mean, I know most people would be like, it was funny, it was humorous. Yeah, I mean, some of the stories, like the stories I could tell, and maybe I'll do some vlogs and talk about it, but people were very, very, very nice. And you know a lot of the people in there, they committed a crime, but they had hard lives. They had very difficult lives. But getting back to it, it landed me in a very difficult position. I'm still in the midst of it. Because of what I, had done. It's called considered felony fleeing. It's a very serious thing. So I got 4 years of probation. So, I'm sitting there thinking 4 years of my life. Oh, so I spent 9 months doing jail and prison time, and then I'm gonna get another 4 years of this shit. So I didn't realize that honestly, the 4 years would be cut down to two, because they have a thing where, you do your probation, you report on time, you go in, you do your stuff, you do what you're supposed to do. You don't break any rules. You get like 30 days for 30 days, so it ends up being cut in half. So I'm almost done. Almost done, and it's been almost 2 years of doing that. So 3 years of my life have been basically put on hold, and I have suffered tremendously because of the illness that I was diagnosed with, because of the fact that a doctor prescribed a medication that I should not have been taking. My life was thrown upside down, and my life is completely different now. It's going to change. It has changed. It's not going to be the same as it was. I have to do things that I wouldn't normally do. I have to find ways to make money, because when you have a record, it's difficult. You spend all that time not working. So when you get done with your probation, your parole, your jail time, all of that kind of stuff, you're left with the chaos. You're left with the destruction and the damage. It's like a tornado. It came through and it left me with a lot of devastation and destruction. So I am picking up the pieces, and I'm trying to get back to a somewhat normal life. I still don't have a normal life. I live with a really horrible feeling, because after I got finished with my 9 months of jail prison time, I came back, and, obviously I didn't have my apartment anymore. I lost my car, lost my job, lost practically everything I have. I'm living out of one suitcase. I've been living out of a suitcase for 2 years, and, that threw me into a state of depression. And all I wanted to do was sleep. I would sleep for like 19, sometimes 20 hours a day for a year and a half, almost 2 years. I finally gotten out of the funk. I got out of the funk probably about 6, 7, 8 months ago. I've been sort of kind of getting back into feeling like a human again, because for those almost 2 years, like, I would sleep all the time. I didn't want to exercise. I didn't want to do anything. I sometimes wouldn't even like want to take a bath. I didn't want to take a bath. I didn't want to brush my teeth. I didn't want to wash my hair. I didn't want to go outside. Like, I mean, these are serious things, but they're real. They're very real, serious things that I'm talking about them because, people need to know that this is real stuff. And so, yeah, it landed me in jail, and my life has been so different because of it. And I am doing my motivational, I'm picking the pieces back up, doing the motivational videos again, because before, when I was doing the motivational videos, I had been through a lot of crap in my life. I had been through so much crap. But now I have been through a lot of massive crap, to where I can share and tell people, look, okay, I went through some bullshit, some major bullshit, and I'm still standing, and I'm getting back up, and I'm, continuing to do the things that I once enjoyed doing. I'm allowing people to listen into my life and to share the stories of what I went through, and to say, hey, look, hey, if I can go through this, and I can come back out, and I can continue and get back. You can do it. Anybody can do it. I am going to get to a place in my life where I am, back and independent again. But I enjoy sharing it, and I do enjoy telling people, look, hey, this stuff, it's a serious thing, But if more and more people talk about it, more and more people will understand, and more people out there who are suffering through it, they're going through it, will feel better because they can listen to the stories and understand and know that if you go through something like that, that you think that you can't get back up from it, and you can't pick those pieces back up, you can pick the pieces back up and you can do it, and you can be successful. I'm not quite there yet. This is my vlog. This is like, hey, look, I'm telling you what happened to me. I disappeared. I've been gone for like 3 years. I disappeared. This is what happened to me. I'm back though. I'm back. I'm picking the pieces up. And yeah, it landed me in a major, major shitty place in my life and knocked me down. But I got back up, and I'm up. I'm picking those pieces back up. I'm putting the life back together that I had. It's going to take a while, but I'm picking that life back up and putting those pieces back together because I refuse to let it destroy my life, and I refuse to let it define who I am. It happened. It is what it is, but I refuse to be knocked down and to stay down. I am getting back up, and I'm putting those pieces back together, and I just want people to know that, look, hey, this shit is it's horrible, but when you have something traumatic happen in your life, you've got to do the healing. You've got to do the healing work. You've got to heal. You've got to allow that crap to just get through your system, go through your life, but you've got to allow it to move in and move out. Move out, let the shit move out and start to heal yourself from within. And that's what I've been doing for 3 years. My healing journey has been actually it's been a lifetime thing, but this particular event was a 3 year deal. It's been since 2019. So for 3 years, I've been putting those pieces back together, putting the life back together, trying to get my life back. So I want you guys to see this. I want you to see it in actual time. Like, hey, look, this is where I am. That's where I've been. This is where I am today. Have picked those pieces back up, and the depression lifted, and now it's time to lose the weight, get back to the way I was. That's why I'm doing the weight loss vlog and the weight loss journey, because it put me into a huge depression, and I gained about 30 pounds. I think I gained 28 pounds. As a matter of fact, it was 28. So it was like, hey, we're gonna destroy you. And I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. So I refuse to let it destroy me, because I'm not going to do that. And I think sometimes people go through those types of situations, maybe even worse than what I went through, and they don't get back up. And that's the worst thing to do. The worst thing is if you don't get back up. That is the biggest sin in life, is falling but not getting back up. And I want people to hear me and to know what I've been through, and to hear me say, you can get back up. It's doable. I want to motivate you. I want you to know that if you are in a very bad situation, you can always get out of that situation. I know it's easier said than done. I'm still in this situation, but I'm making the small baby steps and taking the small steps toward getting back to my independence, getting my life back. So it's doable. It's doable. So bipolar, yes, landed me in jail. It landed me in jail. And um I was so embarrassed when it happened. For 2 years, I was embarrassed. I'm like, I can't tell people what the heck happened to me. Like, people are going to be like, where have you been? Like, have you been hiding? Like, whoa, what happened to you? And, when I first got out, I was embarrassed. I was like, oh shit, I have to explain this to people and I have to tell people. But when we have something happen to us like that, we have to be unashamed and we have to just be like, okay, it happens, life happens, situational things happen in our lives, but it's what we do with the situation. Do we utilize that situation to our advantage? Do we take that situation as a growth opportunity, as a learning opportunity, as a failed part of our life and move on and move past it? Or do we stay in that situation? Do we allow it to knock us down and keep us down? No, we're not going to allow it to knock us down and keep us down. We're going to get up and keep going. And that is what I'm here for. That is why I'm sharing these motivational, healing through inspiration videos, because I've been through a lot of situations, and I can share that, hey, look, I've gotten my butt back up, and you're watching in real time my life as I talk through it. It's video diary, day number 1, day number 2, day number 3. These vlogs are like me saying, hey, look, this is my current situation. That's what I went through. So let's watch. Let me motivate you. Let me help you. Let me explain to you that it doesn't help to not be positive. It helps to be positive about it, and it helps to get back up. So bipolar landed me in jail. That is my story. That is why I've been gone for 3 years. And so I figured I would come on and I would do a live stream talking about where I've been, for 3 years, and just say, hey, look, this is the extended version. I shared a shorter version on the weight loss thing because, you're probably thinking, well, okay, 3 years, you were doing these videos and you disappeared, you were gone. And, that 3-year hiatus left me in a depression. And as a result, yes, I gained weight. I mean, you might look at me and you might say, well, you look fine. But for me, it's like this isn't my typical, this isn't my norm. I don't feel comfortable. I mean, I do feel comfortable in my skin, but I don't feel 100% comfortable in back to where I want to be. So that's hence the weight loss journey. So this is explaining like everything, and I should probably do some vlogs telling you about my experiences and what I experienced when I was in jail, slash prison. I don't even like saying those words. I mean, I don't even know why the just the word has this stigma to it. It's like, but it is what it is. And hey, you can't judge a book by its cover. That's where I was. That's where I was for a while. So don't judge me. Utilize me as a tool, as a an instrument to say, hey, okay, if she can go through something really crappy like that, and she's getting up, I can do it. I can do it. I've gone through this situation. And I'm hearing someone talk about how they went through something shitty, and they're being positive, and they're saying, hey, it does not help to be negative. Hey, I can do it too. Yes, 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 yes. So that is my story in a nutshell. Why I've, of course, been gone for 3 years. So it landed me in jail. It landed me in jail. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Like, share, comment. That would be fantabulous. Um, I am like still quite the newbie on these YouTube videos. So I am in the process of learning how to edit and learning how to do all the really cool, fun stuff with the videos. So I really hope that you enjoy watching my videos because there are more of those to come. So peace, love, and light, and have a fantastic, fantabulous day, afternoon, or evening, depending on where in the world you are. This is Layla signing off, and my mouse is not wanting to do its thing. So I've got to end this stream. So adios, sayonara, au revoir. Bye, you guys.